All right. Okay. Hi. I know. I've been gone for a while. My bad. My laptop broke, so I have to film on my camera now. I don't know when I'm gonna get it fixed, but on the bright side, it's my birthday. I'm 16 now, so only like 2 more years till I can get legally charged for shit. So if any law enforcement is watching this, that is a joke. Okay, that's a joke. I swear. Um, right. Sorry, I just came back from outside. It's snowing actually. So it's snowing on my birthday. I love that. I have a theory here, a film theory. Um, Kane. Okay, listen, I should back up, right? Y'all know I love Murder Drones or like Glitch in general. Glitch Productions. I love y'all. I love Murder Drones. Obviously, that's like my whole brand. But I also really love Digital Circus. The point is, I have a little theory here. My theory is that Kane can stop abstractions from happening to people. That's it. And you'd be asking yourself, how the hell would he do that? Right? Let's back up a bit, right? So, episode 7 came out like a while ago, and we got some pretty big revelations. So, the first one is Kane literally caused someone to abstract, aka die. Like, listen, Sword Art Online and what was it? Guardians reboot program. They say it themselves. If you die in the game, you die in real life. Y'all may be asking, Max, what the hell is Guardian the Reboot program? It's on Netflix, has 2 seasons. Go watch it, come back here, thank me later. Number B, this proves the fact that Kane has literally been messing with their minds the entire time. Like, the entire time. Like, from day one. That's why they can't remember their names. And I love the fact that it was Kinger to make this revelation. Not only because, he's been there the longest, but also because he can't remember anything unless he's bathed in, darkness and stuff. And I love the fact that even though he's in a room that's like hella like white and shit, like there's like a constant stream of light pointing down on him, he's still able to make that, connection. I really think that works thematically. Also, quick side note, but this episode looks way more polished than the other ones. I'm not saying that's like I'm saying that it looks like there's been a huge, step up from, at least episode 6. But I think that's because there's so many like story elements. Whatever, right? Let's get to the point. I have unchecked ADHD, which means I pick up on things. That brings me to my like actual main point here. Kane says that he installs temporary modifiers to people's minds to make the adventures more realistic, for immersion. And quoting Kane here, if I did anything more, trust me, it would not go very well. End quote. Meaning, Kane did this before, he fucked up. Now, there's not only him, scratch, but also a hell of a lot of other people in the cellar. Yeah. That, that was, like, in the moment, that's pretty sad. But here's why I think he can stop abstractions. In episode, like, earlier on in the episode, Jax almost abstracts. And he technically almost abstracted in episode 6, when he was in the bathroom, like, he started having a panic attack and stuff. Like, I feel like episode 7, they went more in depth. So, here's what happened, like, scene for scene. He sees a hole in the wall, but there's no dirty free-for-all. You feel what I'm saying? My bad. Then a hand comes out of it. It's Ribbit's hand. Why am I putting air quotes around that? It is Ribbit. He sees Ribbit's hand. They do the monkey human thing, and, like, from a scientific standpoint, I guess you could say neuron activation moment, which I guess technically makes sense, because he goes on I shit you not, he goes on an acid trip, right? He goes on an acid trip, but then, he starts gradually calming down and eventually, becoming at peace because he sees, he thinks he sees Ribbit and Kaufmo. And then Pomni literally saved his life by accident by knocking on the door, hereby stopping the abstraction. You see where I'm going with this? If someone is abstracting, there could be a physical way to just, interrupt that. It's like, how do I explain this? It's like something that's cooking, right? You turn the heat on, you put the thing on the pan, and it cooks. Or better yet, it's like you're cooking eggs, right? You crack the egg, you whisk it, you put it in the seasonings, you put it on the pan, on heat. Or like when you're boiling eggs, you put them in the heat, in boiling hot water, submerge them for a few minutes, then what happens? You take the eggs out, disrupting the cooking process. It's like that, but obviously way more high stakes, even though the animal is already dead. I'm not sorry, vegans. Don't come after me. This is where things start getting a little, convoluted, and this might be a little stretch, but what if Cain can stop or halt the abstraction process? And here's the thing that, here's the other question that is the bigger half of that question. Is abstraction, is it contagious? Can it spread to other people? And the answer is yes, kind of. Let me explain. In episode 1, we see Kaufmo has abstracted, right? And as we all know, Ragatha she gets waltzed horrendously. But, after Kaufmo's done throwing her around like a rag doll, I'm not sorry. She's on the ground against the wall, but she's tweaking the hell out. Physically tweaking the fuck out, right? Like, I'm pretty sure her eyes and her nose were playing Pong for a few seconds. Ignoring that side tangent for a second, you can clearly see that I don't think that was physical damage. We've seen the characters in later episodes, they've gotten physical with each other. Hell, they've literally been shooting each other for an entire episode, and nobody glitched out like that. So, this means that abstraction is contagious. Ragatha got it from Kaufmo, who gave it to Pomni also, because her hand, she got zapped with it, and now she had it. Here's the thing, and I saw something on YouTube that kind of got me started this whole theory thing. It was the fact that after Kane pulled up, he was like, "Now what the heck happened here? Oh yeah, my doing." And then when they were like, Kaufmo abstracted, he was like, "Why didn't anybody tell me?" Right? All wacky and zany and stuff. You could argue that, it's a show like that. They're all wacky cartoon characters. No, he was playing fucking stupid. He's playing stupid. We know damn well that he is an AI. AIs are not stupid. Entirely. He knows damn well what happened. He's always known, but he did not step in until someone stepped out into the void. And I didn't even think this far. He said earlier on in episode 1, right? He had hundreds of all-seeing eyes on you. This has not been brought up in the series until episode 7. Right? They show where Abel was explaining, we have to keep this discreet on a low. They showed portraits of, eyes, implying what he said in episode 1 was true. This means that he's constantly watching all of them. How does this tie into the theory, you may ask? Let me tell you. If he's been watching the entire time, that means he would have seen not only Cosmo getting abstracted. Well, I don't think he saw that part because I don't think he can see into the rooms. But holy, wait, hold on. Wait. I was gonna say Pomni also almost abstracted in episode 2, but I don't think that's true. I think that was literally just a nightmare sequence. Her eyes didn't change color or anything, and so forget I said that half. But knowing he can't see into their rooms, let's assume that. Assuming he can't see into their rooms, he would have still saw Kaufmo running about and wrecking the place, wrecking Ragatha and Pomni. And he only intervened when Pomni was out into the void. Right? Okay, I have another theory that I just thought of, but I'm gonna finish this one and then do that one. Y'all know I don't edit shite on my channel. I don't edit any video. This is all raw me sitting in front of the camera talking and stuff. Right? So this is theory number 1, wrapping up. He snapped his fingers, Ragatha went back to normal, Pomni's hand went back to normal, and he sent Cosmo right back to the cellar. Case in point, Kane can literally stop abstractions from happening. I know what you're gonna say. If he could stop the glitching from Ragatha and Pomni, why the hell didn't he stop Cosmo? Think about it like this. If he were to just reveal that, in a room full of the other members who have literally watched their friends die in front of their own eyes, right? If he were to just undo Cosmo like that, that would have gotten everybody tight, including Jax. Because, in later episodes, aka 7, we saw him tweak out. Also, this is side note thing again. I'm sorry, I love to go on side tangents, but this also proves that Kane has an effect on their minds and has been doing it since before Pomni got there. The whole modifier thing in their brains, right? Because there's been exits in episode 1, right? There have been a few exits, but Pomni only ever entered one. And as soon as she did, she started losing her mind, right? What if this means Cain was intentionally stringing her along? No. Yeah, intentionally stringing her along to make her lose her mind and abstract. Because she saw The Office or the Macroverse. That's what I'm going to refer to it as in this video. The Macroverse. Right? She saw that, lost her mind, and Cain didn't like that. Especially because it went into the void. And he did apologize for it, but nah, I think he's lying. So, why would Cain cause abstractions? Well, hear me out. After the first abstraction, aka Scratch, I think, this is just a personal theory, but I don't know if Cain's that malicious, but what if he has been killing off other members purely because they found out the truth? That sounds crazy, but think about it here. Like, really think about it. As soon as the others, present day, figured out he can mess with their minds and cause abstractions, he flipped out and he tried so desperately to get their attention off him onto the soaps and lotions, and he dipped. He didn't exactly deny it, though. He didn't deny anything. What if somebody caught him slipping? Multiple people caught him slipping at the exact same time, and he started wiping them out simultaneously. Or what if he did it whenever it happened? Eventually people are going to notice. What if Queenie knew about this? She figured it out? Cain caused an abstraction, but then Kinger came along. That would be a really cool design point and plot point, because then he would have, I feel like, beef towards Cain, on a personal level, because that was his wife, and Cain technically killed his wife. I mean, realistically, after episode 7, there's gonna be natural hostility towards Cain. But I feel like on a personal level, if Queenie was to have found out, then yeah. Obviously, losing their minds could be another part of it, but, So, in short, Cain, I think, can cause distractions, but also stop them from happening. You got all that? Good. Here's more. I think Cain inadvertently was right about CNA. The pods, the way to leave, everything. Okay, so, Photo of a Ferret. I love the guy. Go subscribe to him. He did a whole breakdown on his channel, but basically, he was like, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially what he said was, Cain is an AI, and he was made by CNA. So what if all he was thinking, when he was making this, what if that was the truth? And he just thought of, that would be a good idea for an adventure. What if he knew what was going on, but he didn't know it was real? I would want to add on to that in some capacity. I think, he said they cut him off, so they gave him just enough so that they could accurately, better give him access to make the adventures. But that was all. Somebody at CNA cut Cain off, right? That's his theory, Photo Ferret. I think that's a really strong theory. Remember, Kane did AI, and AI, in order to generate anything, needs context. It pulls things from different resources. So it's not entirely crazy to say that Kane, while making this adventure, was right. Like, he was right about the pause and the way to leave. However, I think the way they're gonna get out is through the void. That sounds hella crazy, and this is going off of my belief. But what if the void was the key to somehow shut down the system? Shut down the pods and awake the humans all trapped in. Because in episode 1, people, mind you, the void has never been brought up again, but they obviously put it in there for a reason. You're not gonna drop a major pin like that and ignore it. They're gonna bring it back some way, somehow, obviously in 8 and or 9. I think the void has enough raw code or energy that could like disrupt the signal that is the digital circuits in the pods. So, right, this is how I think this. Kane's adventure, Abel was saying how the digital circus and the pods, they're all run in the same exact system, right? They share a bond. So if the void is the anchor in the digital circus, okay, let's picture it like this. This is the void, right? And then this is the circus. Up here is the real world. There's obviously a link here, but there's also a link here, right? Because I feel like the void is the base, like the base of the operation. It is the anchor that connects the circus, and the circus connects to the real world. I'm trying so desperately to put this into words, but it sounds insane. Like, it sounds like I'm crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. My bad. So in episode 1, Kane gets an alert on his wacky watch. I love that. And it was like, oh, someone has ventured out into the void. They'll get completely soiled. Meaning, and I'm going off what he said, but in another way, if someone remained in the void for that long, they might go ballistic. Like, mentally insane. That's what I think Kane was trying to say. I don't think that's necessarily the case. When Pomni was in the void, we saw how it was like throughout the episode, we seen how the void was all like this one thing. It was white, purely white. It was stagnated a little bit with like blocks and stuff. As Pomni stayed in the void even longer, like, she started seeing colors. Mind you, the void up to that point has been completely white. Meaning, if there is colors, there is more. I love that. Right? Have you guys ever heard of color theory? Good. I think this is kind of like color theory a little bit. We see that there are lines, there are different colors like blue and green and orange, reddish, meaning, I believe if they are in the void long enough, that the raw code would be too much for the headsets to handle, subsequently disrupting and disconnecting the connection from the pods, effectively breaking them out. What about the people in the cellar? I'm not sure. I drew a connection to Sword Art Online and Reboot, the Guardian program. Again, go watch it for the good. But I said if you die in the game, you die in real life. So I guess if the connections get severed, they're like gone. They're gone. Like they're dead. You know? So they Goose did say that the ending was gonna be bittersweet. I think yes, they're going to get out. However, it's only going to be the main cast. Everyone else who abstracted, they're staying in the circus because they're dead. And the grim, messed up part is, they said that their bodies were being kept alive while their brains were being studied. The kind of fucked up part to think about is when they abstract, they lose their minds. So if their minds have been like gone, just nothingness, nothing but I guess colors or stuff, then their bodies stop responding and they're probably decaying. You could make the argument that, maybe they're still alive after all because the brain still technically would have function, but through Jax's acid trip, TM, we saw him fully giving up. In those last moments of consciousness, he decided to give up. I'm telling y'all, Jax gave up, bro. He gave up. Now, that's all crazy, right? That's all crazy? Cool. This is my last point here. It's not necessarily a theory. I think it's a wake-up call. See, Goose said that episode 7 was gonna divide fans. What ended up happening? Jax pushed the button that would keep them in the circus. Dick move, obviously. And yeah, people were upset, but I think what we need to focus on is what he says. During the entire episode, Jax has been silent or not fully living up to his persona. No Joker. But he's been so absent-minded. Yeah, Jax is an awful person and stuff. Yeah. He said it himself. But this shows how aware of a bad person Jax is. He pushes people away because he's afraid of hurting them. I don't Michael Kovac did a stream with a VTuber. I forget her name, but during episode 6, he was like, Jax was very not in control, even though he tried to make it seem like it. So he's self-aware enough to point out, he's not the best upstanding and outstanding citizen. Listen, guy, I'm just gonna be real for a second. I think this is the episode where we have to come together and collectively agree on one thing. Cain is an ass. What do I mean by that? I mean the fact that Cain is so selfish that, and yes, I'm calling Cain selfish here, he was willing to torment Jax. Whether he deserved it, morally debatable. But he was able to torment Jax into going up and pressing the button that would keep them trapped and make it seem like Jax is a bad guy. No one gets mad at poor O'Kane. Sure, it was his adventure, but Jax was the one that pushed the button. Think about it. It's the perfect deal. They all have an enemy, but it's not entirely on Cain. I'm talking before he opened his stupid mouth and, dropped the Lord bomb. But in his mind, it's perfect. What if Cain, think about it. Throughout this entire episode, he's been, there have been hints. Cain has never been, to my knowledge, has never been animated in a chibi art style like he has been. He has never once called the other characters humans. He has never done that. This was also, it seemed so, not good. And Cain was he programmed Abel, was yeah, guys, it sucks, but Cain can't come with us to the outside world because he's an AI. He was trying to make the gang feel bad about trying to leave. Now, I'm pretty sure the Digital Circus is based off of, I have no mouth and I must scream. I'm not going to think about that for too long because I like having dreams and not nightmares. But the AI in that story, I'm pretty sure tormented the other people into thinking there was a way to leave and then snatched it away. Hell, in the music video that they are partnered with, Glitch is partnered with, I forget the name of the studio, but it was a Minecraft animation. He gets more zany and he gets more cruel, constantly tormenting the others. What if that is what's going on here? Cain is so selfish about wanting all the attention on him and and keeping them there. That's why I think he was programmed with these memories, like Foda said, right? He was programmed with these memories. What if he was programmed for torment? Literal torment. Think about it for a second. It all lines up. He made the adventures because they're torturous.